Okay, we are live. Peace, peace, peace. This is your international sales and marketing hitman, your humble hip hop sales coach, Tiger TOLEDO. And you already know what it is, man. You rock it with the best. You heard? Look at the two beautiful ladies that I have on the Notary War Room. Yes, yes, it is dope. It is the hottest show on the planet. Tell your grandmother. Tell your grandmother. You know what I mean? Peace. This is your oh, I gotta even mute myself because I'm so dope. Damn it. But we have the beautiful special host today, Dawn Velez, out in Tampa, Florida. What's up, Dawn? How are you doing today?
I'm not in Tampa, but I'm doing good.
Oh, come on. Can I get some love on that? I like Tampa. Where are you at in Florida?
I'm in Central Florida.
Yeah, see,
so
I was
basically Orlando. Yeah.
And then
our last guest was in Tampa.
Side, on the other side of the spectrum, we have, and I'm glad she's here today. And thank you. I am humble and I am thankful that you are gracing the show, the Notary War Room show, because it's all about the superstars that we bring on here. We have Norma, Guzman, Liz Brooks. I'm bringing it all the names out. What's up?
All the names.
I'm gonna roll all the names out. If you had 12, I'll roll out all 12. How are you, Norma?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm honored to be here. I'm so excited to be on the show. We were kind of chatting a little bit before the show, so I'm excited to see if you can bring out my inner gangster, like you said. But yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be double dutching through this interview, right? Because I went to Toastmasters, Norma, believe it or not. I got a couple of awards from Toastmasters. And guess what my coach told me? You don't have to curse so much, motherfucker. I got my Icebreakers award, my Enthusiasm award and stuff. But I said, look, man, it's part of, I'm like the ODB of this thing here, man. I'm the old dirty bastard here. Let me do what I do. So I will be double dutching in here. And when I see a cue, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to say, like, let's see if we could bring Norma's gangster out. Because she got a gangster side, y'all. She definitely got a gangster side. I seen it. You got to catch it, though. So, Dawn, the floor is all yours. For sure. Dawn, the floor is all yours, Queen.
All right. So I've been looking forward to this interview. Welcome everybody to the Notary War Room, where we are about to go to war. I'm just kidding. We're not going to war, but we are going to have a great time. Miss Norma, start by telling us a little bit about your background.
Ooh. Hey, everyone. My name is Norma Brooks. I had to shorten it for y'all. I'm the owner and founder of Notary For Me LLC and the Notary Meetup Academy. So just a little bit about me. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas, yeehaw. And I was born and raised here. I am first generation American, very, very proud to be of Salvadoran descent. And yeah, so I have a total of about 11 years now in the real estate industry. And so that is actually my background. I consider myself the real estate notary because it's all relative, right? The notary services in the real estate world. And I am, for those of you who don't know, I am actually a real estate agent here in this area. And so I actually do run multiple businesses.
Cool. Okay. How'd you get started in the notary world?
I started the beginning of 2019. I remember it perfectly because I had been deciding what to choose as my side hustle. I didn't think of it as a business at the time, but I knew I needed a side hustle. I just gotten laid off of my job and I just gotten broken up with. So just as a single mom, you know, I said, I got to figure out a way to make some money by tomorrow. And I need to always have, you know, a plan B. So I decided to go ahead and apply and just start teaching myself, literally just teaching myself how to notarize documents. And that's how it started, was just as an idea, as a side hustle.
Okay, where did the idea come from though? How did you get introduced to notary?
I just Googled side hustle ideas.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I had a notary friend. I had a friend that was a notary, and I had an aunt that was a notary, but they never really talked about it as a way to make money. It was just kind of like, yeah, I'm a notary, I have my stamp kind of thing. Not that they probably intentionally were gatekeeping, but they just never hyped it up or, said, hey, why don't you consider becoming a notary? So I just Googled different side hustle ideas. And I said, I'm working in property management all these years. I'm really good at, compliance and paying attention to detail. So that's kind of what grabbed my attention. But I had no idea what I would do with my notary stamp. So
yeah,
I wish I knew then what I know now, but I think everybody says that, right? So, but it's made me the great teacher that I am today.
Okay, so you got started in 2019. Maybe your relatives that were doing it weren't doing it at your level. Is that kind of how it is with, yeah. Because I find that most of us, when we're doing it at a certain level, we tend to be a lot more open about our journey, what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. But from notaries that I meet that maybe they worked for a company or something like that, and they were just notarizing for the company, they don't really know anything to tell. So maybe
Absolutely.
Was that kind of your situation?
Yes. So one of them was a paralegal. The other one, my friend, like I said, she just always kind of had, she was self-employed, but that person that you're like, what exactly do they do? Like they post selfies
my
on
daughter,
and you don't, it's not very clear on like what it is that they do, right? So it was one of those things where one was a paralegal working for an attorney. So I'm sure that notarizing documents was just something that was part of her job, like you said, right? And no one ever really talked about how you could monetize it. And no one was really, at that time, I didn't really see a whole bunch of information online, like classes and webinars like you see now. So I just basically taught myself and figured it out along the way. And then a year later, because I didn't even know at the time that you could do real estate closings. I didn't know you could even notarize documents that way. And so I would say about a year later is when I jumped in and I started learning how to do loan signings.
So 2020 is when you kind of jumped in.
Yes.
Well, where did you do your research? Because you said there wasn't a lot of information out there. Where were you looking?
Honestly, just Google again. I just Googled information. I didn't have, I think when you don't really have a village or support system like that's, or you're not really surrounded by people that are talking about entrepreneurship or starting a business, it can seem like something totally foreign, right? Something totally new. But I always had the entrepreneurial spirit. So anytime that I saw that I could create something on my own, that's where I started to get interested, because I'm the type, my personality is, and I'm sure there's a lot of people listening that feel this way, is when someone is telling you, hey, you should do this. Hey, why don't you try this? It's not as appealing as when you discover something on your own, right? Because then that curiosity aspect, right? Entrepreneurship is really curiosity, right? Because you're curious to see, well, if I try this, what will happen, right? So that curiosity is what really got me into the loan signing. So I just kind of started looking up what are some jobs or what are some other type of notarizations that I could perform that could help me to make money.
Okay, so we're in 2020 now, and you're doing loan signings. Were you already a realtor, or you became a realtor during this time here? Okay,
I became a realtor about a year and a half ago.
Okay, all right. So 2020, so was loan signings was that your primary focus for that period?
For that period of time, yes. But because I didn't have any mentorship or, coach or guidance, I didn't even have, it's crazy to think that, but I didn't even have a way to create invoices. I didn't even know I had to create an invoice.
Yeah.
And I didn't run it like a business. So I was, a little disappointed when I'm like hustling. I'm saying yes to every signing, right? I had a direct client and I did all of their notarizations for all of their offices in DFW. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm running around. They tell me to go to the moon, I'll go. They love me, but where's my check? My check? Where send the funds. So, so then I started realizing, like, why am I struggling to pay my bills, but I'm working? So when you come from that 9 to 5, corporate job, and you're used to trading time for money, right? It doesn't sit well in your spirit, because it's like, okay, when is the check going to actually come? And so I actually lost out on a lot of money because there was a lot of confusion with the title companies, the different offices. This person said they paid it. I mean, it was a mess. So I just had to write it off as a loss. It was about $1,000. So that's what I teach my students now, is you need to run it like a business. And even if you're not taking these appointments yet, take the time to do that foundational work so that you can avoid losing, because it can cost you. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't play about my money. I don't like losing.
Girl, you know about us. Ain't nobody playing about their money.
Right.
So let me ask you this. So you keep mentioning your students, and so you're obviously a notary coach and things like that. When did you start coaching? How far along were you in your journey before you started coaching?
So I actually started coaching when I went to the title company, because so what happened after that, when I was frustrated with the invoices not being paid, it was a lack of staff in the office. So the solution was, hey, why don't y'all hire Norma to do your signings in-house? She can just get paid hourly, have the benefits of an employee. Of course, for me, I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. I need that job security, for now to catch up on my bills. So I took the job. I wanted to really learn everything there was within the title company. And so I was able to go in, and they started really enjoying the fact that I was able to complete all these closings back to back, right? Because the closer can focus on balancing files, doing all this. So I began training the other notaries that would come to the office that were also being hired on to do just the actual signings. So that's when I began to coach. I would show them, go through all the documents, and then I kind of just would do it for free. So that was more mentorship. I would answer their questions. And I said, you know what? I am really good at this. Like, people are just getting it, right? These people didn't go to take all these classes. They just came straight to me. I showed them the documents, and I said, you know what? This is what people need. They need to learn hands-on how to present these documents, what the purpose of each, a general purpose of these documents are, and they just need to practice. So that's how I kind of started creating the foundation to what is now the Notary Meetup Academy. And so I started charging on the weekends and the evenings per hour. So I set up a Calendly link. I had them book a time with me. I would record the session, send it to them through email, collect their payment. And that's how that started.
What year was this?
That was at the end of 2020. So I was already at the end of 2020. I was, like I said, it was super busy, and they needed to hire on more help. So I was able to then, train them. And then because we had our preferred notaries that would also go out and do the remote closings, I would have to check their work. So I was in the post-closing department, looking through all the closings, having to call the notaries and say, hey, I'm not going to tell my boss, but you have 5 mistakes here. Here's some tips that I have. Or, hey, why don't you try switching to a black ink stamp instead of red ink, and things like that. So it really gave me a lot of insight into the entire process. I also didn't mention I'm a former loan officer. So in 2018, I was already licensed as a loan officer. So I really understood the numbers with the closing disclosure and the importance of starting there and explaining that to the signer. So that's how I created another class, another product, where I literally teach an entire 60-minute course on just exploring the closing disclosure, because it's so important to empower notaries to be able to switch the signer's question to a where, right? Where can you find, look, I get into teaching mode, but where can you find the answer to their question and not be limited to, oh, sorry, I can't do that. I'm just a notary.
All right, cool. So real estate definitely helped you set yourself up for where you are now. I think that's cool because it's almost like a natural progression to go into teaching and creating your own program after dealing with the title company and teaching the notaries there. Good foundation.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What pisses you off when you're training someone?
Oh, I
have my
so
story,
much,
so that's why I asked.
Yeah, I don't deal with this so much now, but what used to piss me off was when people would take advantage of me. When they would take advantage of my kindness and they would go pay someone else.
Girl.
So come to me and, get all the information because my discovery calls were free. And they would just pick my brain, take the information, monetize it, right? They would make money. And unpaid invoices, that's what would piss me off is I allowed you to, come on to my platform and train with me. And then the check bounced, the payment bounced and you're nowhere.
Wow.
So that I would say that, because again, I don't play about my money, especially if I already gave you like a 50% discount, just be real with me, be honest with me. If you don't got it, then say that, right? Mm-hmm. You can help me at my events or you can volunteer, which is why I created a list of volunteers. Hey, if you're a single mom, trust me, I understand that's the whole reason of why I started this, but I can't just help you because I feel sorry for you. That's not fair.
And you're so right. People will take your kindness for weakness. And sometimes when you have a kind heart, you do end up coming out with the short end of the stick, unfortunately. But people will change that about us, won't they? People will teach you that you can't be that way. People will cause you to toughen up and say, you know what? I no longer do discounts. I no longer do anything without an upfront payment, So I definitely understand where that would upset you. That's even upsetting for me to just hear. I can't stand for people to be taken advantage of. I cannot stand that. So now you're saying that right now it's not really that much of an issue for you. So you were able to get that under control and people aren't doing you like that anymore.
Correct. So I actually hired a business coach. They did an audit on my entire business. And it was funny. It was a little embarrassing because he's like, Norma, there's no way this is what you're charging for your classes or for your products. I reviewed everything. I watched it. I looked at your content and there's no reason why you should not be generating your income goal. And I said, I'm very big on taking accountability. If I'm mad, there's only so much I can say. And that's what I mean with, okay, I have to stop and because I operated out of a victim mindset for too long, right? Coming from domestic violence. Yes, I was actually, witnessing that, not me as an actual victim. I was a child, right? But seeing my biological father abuse my mom and things like that. Like, yes, I have a valid reason. I had a valid reason to say, oh my gosh, woe is me. But at some point, you are an adult. Like you have to take accountability. You have to take matters into your own hands and say, you know what can I do differently? Like, how can I respond? How can I change my policies to where I stop getting taken advantage of? And how can I create a win-win situation? So I said, you know what? I have now I'm at, I think 27.1K followers on TikTok. Let me go on live. Let me have the opportunity, like you see here, text the word notary, right, to this number where I will notify you when I do free trainings or live videos. And you can join my live and bring your questions then, right? But if you want me to help you on your terms and kind of your timing, well, then it comes with the cost, right? You have to pay for my time because it's very valuable.
That's right.
And that's what I do. And like I said, I'm looking for ways to create, to still help other people. But one shift I had to make was also that if my goal is to help single moms, okay, and empower them and provide housing for moms with children whose parent are deceased, detained, or deported, then how am I ever going to buy an apartment complex and I'm not making the money that I need to be able to do that? Right? So now I said, well, then the people that can't afford it right now, let me launch a YouTube channel, right? If that's in the works, let me go on live, let me send out emails. They can get all this information for free and apply it just like I did. The journey may take a little bit longer, right? It's like comparing Dallas to Houston, it's a 4-hour drive. If you hire a coach, right, directly join either through like a one-on-one coaching or take a class, it's like taking a flight down there, right? It's going to be, the journey is going to be shorter. So I said, I'm going to give people my options. And if it's important enough for them, even if they are a single mom, they're going to find a credit card that has that credit limit on there, that they can pay with. Because I was that single mom. Whenever I hired, several coaches or took courses, I really didn't have it like that, right? I didn't have the money, but I said, what do I need to do to work with you? They'll give me their price. It's going to be $3,000. Okay, cool. I got to go. Let me go make $3,000. Or let me see if I can improve my credit to increase my credit limit and then go pay on a credit card and I'll make that money back because I knew it was an investment. So that's the reason why now I struggle to really, quote unquote, feel sorry for people, because if you want it bad enough, you will find a way, no matter.
That's the key. That's the key right there, is that everybody is not hungry enough. And that's just one of those things, everybody won't make it. I was just talking about that earlier, that people see this shiny thing that they perceive to be shiny on social media. And you really don't know what it took for that person to get where they are. You don't know the backstory. You just see the shiny thing and you think you're going to jump out there and now you're going to be shiny. No, you will be eventually, but you have to start your journey, which may not look like everyone else's or anyone else's. Right. So how long have you been an entrepreneur? You just started entrepreneurship in 2020 then, or 2021?
No. So for my notary business, I started, like I said, really it was 2020 when I started doing the loan signings, that I was doing that full time. But like I said, I went back to work, and that's where I was focusing more on the educational piece. And then I actually left title in 2021. So that's when I said, you know what, I'm just going to take that leap of faith. I'm going to pursue real estate full time. I was helping my husband. We weren't married at the time, but I was helping him in the law firm. He was paying me there. And I said, I think I have enough to, make it work. And I took that leap and I generated my own income. I said, okay, like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not looking back. So, but it's actually, I had done the Airbnb consulting before. Yeah. So my journey is not like very, I just took off entrepreneur. It's been a process, right? So
that's right.
Whenever I left my, the loan officer job, I ended up going, long story short, I had an old resident that he's a multimillionaire actually now. And he just saw something in me. He said, Norma, like, eventually, you're going to have to quit your job. I just laughed in his face, because I said, there is no way I would ever leave the comfort of a 9-to-5 job and be my own boss. Like, that wasn't something I ever thought I could do. But he actually had over 100 listings, him and a couple of other investors of short-term rentals throughout the US and Canada. And so they had, about 6 or 7 VAs at the time. And I just ended up helping them to acquire more properties. I would call the agents, call the landlords and pitch to them about this program. And that was my full-time gig. Like, it was the greatest time of my life. So that was actually the first taste of being my own boss, of, entrepreneurship. And what I did was, I said, you know what? Because I led his whole mastermind out of Houston. We had all the students that came, paid for the mastermind to come out on a weekend. And I said, why don't I just start a cleaning business? Because I noticed that is, so now in retrospect, I'm like, as an entrepreneur, I've always been able to find a problem and then create a solution. That's it. It's so simple. So any type of business that I want to start, and I want to encourage anyone who's listening that anything that you want to create, it's literally that simple. There's a problem and you're creating a solution. And so I created this cleaning business because I said, Mom, I told my mom, you've been in this country, you sacrificed so much to come here. Why don't you start your own thing? Like, why don't we just now create a cleaning business to where we can, subcontract it out to these cleaners, and then we make a profit. So that was the first kind of introduction to entrepreneurship, like I said, because I was able to create my own schedule. Eventually, I took over the project where not only would I find the actual new location, whether it was an apartment, condo, home. And so we would actually go in and I would have to set everything up. I'd have to find someone that was going to clean it regularly, our handyman, right? Had our standard operating procedures. And so, so I said, well, eventually one of those students is going to open an Airbnb here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And sure enough, they did. It was almost like everything that I speak, everything that I believed would come to pass, and still does till this day. That's just the way my faith is set up. I'm like, God, I can just say the word and I know that it will begin to manifest in his timing. Right. So it was really cool. We made money. I earned like 4 clients, which is, if you know anything about short-term rentals, it's not just one cleaning per month, it's multiple, right? Because the check-in and check-out process. So that was really fun times. We no longer operate that cleaning business. So because it was too much, and I learned the power of focusing and really growing one thing at a time, right? Once you scale it, you automate it, then you can kind of venture off into something else. But too many people, I mean me, are chasing that shiny object. Like you said, the shiny object syndrome where, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. And they never really grow that thing and see it to its fullest potential because they're just chasing the next best thing instead of focusing and growing where you're placed. Right. So that's kind of my journey with entrepreneurship.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. It's, you can do it. You can do whatever it is that you put your mind to. It's a matter of you understanding that there's going to be some ups and downs. I'm sure you experienced that when you got your experience with entrepreneurship, when the bug bit you, so to speak. When you got bit by the bug, then you took that journey and you started taking your hits, having your victories and etc. And I admire you. I feel like you have a lot of grit. And to me, you can't be an entrepreneur. You can't really be a boss without it. And especially being a female. I mean, your personality, to be honest, is a lot like mine. And at the end of the day, you just want to do business. You want to get business done right. And I love it. So do you have any children? You're welcome.
Yes, I have an 11-year-old, Zoe.
Yes. Boy or girl?
Girl.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Yes.
Okay. No, these kids that are around in that age group, they rule the world. I mean, I'm sure you realize how strangely smart your daughter is. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. They
she's
come
very shy. Yeah, she's total well, I was shy at her age, but because I'm an identical twin, so I always had a friend. I always had somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
My daughter doesn't. She's an only child, and on my side anyway. Now her dad has children, but when she's here, it's just her, and so she's a little bit more timid. Different personalities. So just as a parent, having to accept that your child may not be like you, and just embracing. So she actually just got nominated. Her artwork got selected. She was the only fifth grader in her school that got selected to showcase her artwork at the art museum. And so I told her, you know, this is what it looks like when you pursue your passions. If you wanted to create animations for a movie, or you want to write, you know, create the illustrations for books, like I'm planting those seeds where she can really make money. And you know what I told her? She was standing there by her artwork. I said, Zoe, you should feel so proud. Stand there. I said, smile like someone right now just offered to pay you $50,000 for your piece of artwork. And, you know, just planting those seeds, because I want her to understand that she really can do anything that she wants to do. But I think more specifically, what I'm instilling in her is the value of, what did God create you to do, right? Like, what specifically, like, stop trying to chase what you see on TikTok. Oh, everybody wants to be a TikToker or a YouTuber, or, you know, they want to do what everyone else is doing. And I love that I see the qualities of a great leader in her, where she's not a follower. She doesn't do what all the other kids are doing. And that's great, because that's what makes her special.
Well, she definitely is, of course, but mother to mother, Girl Scouts, any type of girls group, even an art group, things like that will help her to get socialized. But mother to mother, whatever we speak over them, that's kind of like what it's going to be, whatever we believe in our minds. I have 4, and my youngest is 14. So I was blessed with 2 boys and 2 girls. And I always, always, always speak life over those kids. And she's going to be fine. She's going to be exactly like you, because if she's quiet, she doesn't have any distractions. You're the only thing she has to watch. So,
and my husband now, which he is, you know, he's her stepdad. So he's a really great role model for her. And I'm so glad he's there to help her with her homework. Cause I'm like, listen, I can't help you with the math.
Well, I'm just speaking in terms of woman to woman, female to female, and having 2 daughters when I say that. Yes. Absolutely. Thank God she has this strong male presence in her life to help her along the way as well. But nothing replaces mommy. And at the end of the day, she'll be a boss just like you, because she's going to watch every single thing that's going on. So that's pretty cool. Yes. So let me ask, what are some of your plans? Like, what do you have coming up? Where do you see your business in the next couple years?
I love it. I love it. So what I'm currently working on is, so I actually just launched my revamped funnel, because it took a lot of work to learn about copy and creating funnels, you know, that convert. All that is brand new to me, but I do have a new Notary Business Masterclass that encompasses mindset and setting the proper foundation, laying that groundwork for a notary business. And I'm really excited about it. I am probably my biggest fan, because I created it with really the newbie me in mind. You know, this is something that I wish I had when I first started. And I know that the people that have joined already, I haven't really promoted it too much, but the people that have really enjoy it, because it's actually a combination of that accountability program that I did last year. I actually did it 3 different times, and we have group coaching. So it's not just a regular class where you're watching modules and you go on to the next. You actually can't move on until you do the work. So I love how I just structured it. I've put my whole heart and everything into it. And I'm excited for anyone who enrolls into that. And the next thing is that I really want to, so I've done a tour. I did a tour last year just in Texas, you know, doing notary meetups. But I really have a vision to teach specific state laws in person in different states, because I think where I'm seeing a lot of students, where a lot of students struggle is, for example, they're here in Texas, but they're learning from someone in California, or they're here and they just they're like me, they're very detailed. I want to hear specifically the notary laws for my state explained. right? And having that. And so I want to empower other coaches and mentors in those states to also teach. And then specifically, I'm glad he pulled this up with the bilingual. So I am one of the few, Latinas that's teaching how to conduct really how to monetize that skill of being bilingual. So I just have this was like a quick bilingual basics webinar that I did, just giving bilingual notaries the ideas of what they could do with that skill, right? You work a 9-to-5 job, they're going to pay you $1 or $2 extra just for
exactly
the Spanish calls, right? I know I did. I got paid an extra $1. I thought it was so cool. So I said, hey, why not do that in your business? That is a niche or a niche within itself. And also specifically how to, place someone under oath in Spanish and how to conduct a signing in Spanish, all of that. And so that's what I'm really focused on in this next year. And also want to, I'm working on creating merchandise, but I'm working on something that I don't really want to share too much detail, but I'm working on having some merchandise as well, because the goal is to stop, because when people look at entrepreneurs, they look at people that teach, they look at, these programs, they say, oh, well, that's cool. I want to be my own boss. Or they see people running their loan signing business, right? But they're running around. I'm like, I don't want to always be running around and trading my time for money. That defeats the whole purpose of entrepreneurship. So I'm wanting to introduce, or I am introducing a lot of my students to the idea of, okay, how can you create passive income, right? People don't necessarily understand that you still, if you're a notary and you're the one with that stamp, you're the one that has to be there, right? Or you have to place another notary in your place. But what are some other ideas of how you can monetize, right? Make money and take a vacation and be able to relax and make money in your sleep. So I do have the benefit of seeing those deposits coming in that I'm like, really every day is payday, and it's a great feeling. And I want my students to know, I want anyone that I come in contact with to know that, hey, it's great to trade your time, for income, but at some point you have to start to pivot and think about what are some ways that you can minimize your work day. So that's my goal, is to be able to show other people how to do that.
I love it. And you're right. The more Spanish speaking notaries and professionals that are out there, the better. I mean, I'm always looking for something, whether it's someone who needs to interpret, or they'll be on the call and they're like, well, my English is not so good. I'm like, nope, you're doing great.
Hey, I got to jump in on this. I got to jump in on it. Norma.
Yes.
I'm inspired on this other side of this war room right now. I swear. I'm broadcasting live on Instagram as well. And I'm talking hella shit, by the way. But I'm very inspired because I'm telling everybody else, like, this is a woman on a purpose. You have a purpose.
Yes.
An unwavering focus of what you're trying. I haven't seen that type of level of determination in a while, and it's so inspiring. I have to ask you, is it because of the faith-based notary ministry that you have going on? Is that what's like keeping you so grounded and so focused? I'm loving it. I'm like,
absolutely,
for real. Talk on that, please.
Yes, I always say Jesus is the CEO of my business. Everything that I do is a reflection of him. And so, even though, like you said, when I want that inner kind of gangster to come out, I still think, okay, am I teaching, is everything that I do in love? Because if there's no love, right, what is the purpose of that? Because a lot of people want to be successful because they want to make this money, but let's go deeper. You want to make this money for what? You want to make 10K a month so that you can go on vacation and, drink and have a good time. That's great. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but what is the purpose? Because when you get there, right, I've been around multimillionaires, millionaires, and that is not, they will tell you like that's not what it's about. It's not, because when you finally reach that, okay, let's say you're young, you get to retire, you know, you have this, but for what? It's just for you to enjoy this money? No. For me, like I mentioned earlier, is I have a calling to help provide housing for moms who have children that their father has been deported, their father is deceased, right? Coming from my father, my stepfather passing away at a young age, I saw how it affected, you know, my younger sister, and you know, and detained. How many, you know, in Black and brown communities, how many people are affected by their fathers being behind bars, right? And now who has the burden? The moms do. So I'm like, you know what? I would have loved for someone to say, and especially I think this, right? The strongest ones don't usually get any help because they see me and you know, as a single mom, thank God for my husband, right? But I got this before I met him, right? Don't get it twisted just because, oh, she's married to an attorney. Like, no, don't dismiss my grit, my determination, and my hard work. But when I was single, no one ever thought to say, hey, Norma, are y'all good? You need some groceries, right? Do you need anything? I was between, I didn't qualify for the housing. So I'm like, how can I create something for the ones that are already doing their part? I see their grit, I see their determination, I see they're working on something, right? But it's that in-between phase that I'm like, man, you know, I want to help those women. I want to show them, look, you don't need that toxic relationship that you're in to survive, because a lot of women go back to that relationship for comfort, and because we want to be provided, you know, we kind of rely on that being provided for. And so I am very passionate about what I do, because I say, you know what, this is a skill that, yes, you may have to invest money right now, but you will make that money back, right? And not only that, but 5-10 years from now, your children will see, because that's the legacy that you're going to leave. Y'all hear that passion coming out, because I'm very passionate about this.
Listen, I saw the gangster. The gangster came out you right there. See,
yes.
that authenticity, Norma, you can't fake it.
Yeah.
I see it in your eyes. I see it in your facial expressions. That shit is so real, and it's anchored by something, because it's something that affected you in your life when you was young. And you are clipped up, you are busting your gun, and you're like, this is going to get done. In Jesus' name, let's get it.
Yes.
And listen, I don't want to curse and
now you feel
Jesus'
bad
name in the same put Jesus' name in the same, but he knows how I get down.
Yes.
Thank you for that. I mean, continue, please.
Yes. But yeah, that's really what drives me. And like I said, it's, you know, if you do, because a lot of people think that it's about the money, right? So they sign up for these courses and they learn it, and they become discouraged because they don't see the money, but because the money is driving them. That's the problem, right? That's your goal, is just the money, and that's all you see. But what if I hand you, you know, this money today? Is it going to make a difference? What are you going to actually do with that? And so I feel that, you know, and I know this, that God has given every single one of us gifts, skills, and talents, right? He's made all of us unique. So let me help to show you how you can implement that into your business, right? Just like you said, like being authentically you. You like to cuss? Cool. You're going to attract your tribe and your people that love that. Me, I'm like, I really attract a lot of people that are, you know, faith-based, like, you know, Christian. They're looking for someone like that, but like to be a little ratchet sometimes. You know, I can be classy, but I also, you know, there's a time and a place for everything, I believe. And so you just have to really, I think it starts with you, right? Discovering you and who you are, what God called you to do, like not what everybody else wants to hear or what they think you should be doing. Right? If you're relying on the source, there's no deviating from that, because you already know what he said, you already know what he promised you, you already know, and you see the vision. So for me, anything that's not in alignment with that, I don't pursue it. Because people will tell me, oh, Norma, you would be great at this, you would be great at that. Thank you for that. right? I appreciate that, but sometimes it's maybe not the right season, or maybe they are kind of projecting what they wish they had or what they wish they could do. And so you have to be, always connecting to the source, right? My CEO, Jesus, I got to consult with him to see, okay, I sense that I should be doing this, or I heard this idea, someone talking about it, but is that for me? It's a great idea. You can absolutely make money doing that, but is that what you want for me and my business? Right?
I love that.
Business decisions, collaborations, everything should be done, with prayer. And so, you also don't want to be from one extreme to the other, where I hear people, well, I got to pray about it. I'm like, okay, if you've already prayed about it and you're on a discovery call with me and I'm telling you, this is what you need, and you don't take it, you don't take the opportunity, that's on you. Don't come back later because yesterday's price is not going to be today's price. I promise you. Right. Because I do promos for a reason, because I say, you know what? I know some people really, they genuinely they just don't have it. Let me run a promo, right? Let me create a coupon code. And so, so I kind of went off on a tangent here, but the point is like, what is actually your goal and your purpose? Is it just for you? Or do you see that through you will be able to do God's work, right? Through you will be able to feed those children or go to these other countries and help provide schooling. Like, what is it? And when you're clear on that, if people are online, if you don't have a lot of followers, you don't have a lot of likes, that's not going to slow you down, because it can be discouraging when you see that someone else is doing something a lot better than you, right? You're like, man, they have a lot of followers, they got a lot of likes, but you have to stay focused on your path and what God called you to do, right? Because some of these people may fall out and they don't have your sauce. They don't have they're not you. Right. So just staying focused on that, I think is super, super important, and what keeps me personally grounded.
Well, I don't want to let it go without being said that followers and likes doesn't equal money. So, and I told some women, I had a speaking engagement a couple months back, and I said something similar, in that is, God is a part of my business plan. And at the end of the day, we're in business to make money. Don't feel ashamed. Anyone who's listening, don't feel ashamed about being in business to make money. Otherwise, why are you here? And just know that she's right when she says that you do need to have some sort of an end game. So whether that's to make your own personal family have wealth and have a legacy, or if that is to bless others in the community, such as what she's saying, neither one is wrong. Neither one is wrong. So I just want to encourage you guys for that. And then Tiger, if it's okay, I guess we can open it up for anyone to ask questions from Norma.
Yes. If you guys want to raise your hand, if you want to tap it into the chat, if you want to come on live with Norma, let's go. Norma, you have YouTube lit right now.
Yay!
When I mean there's so many comments on here. I'll read a few of them, and Instagram is like crazy. I'm gonna need a moderator just for that. Words, that's awesome. It's hard to get help like that from Tulsa. I mean, it's oh my God, you're gonna have to go through this. It's a lot. Who wants to go on live while I pull up some of these Q&As, you guys?
Someone said, what is her contact and website info, as I would love to follow her. The link is in my bio. And also, did you want me to mention the coupon?
Girl, mention whatever you want.
Yeah, okay. Put it out there.
So I actually created a special coupon code just for this live, and it is TOLEDO, in honor of him allowing me on his platform, TOLEDO 20 for 20% off of any digital product, which is any class. But if you actually click the link in my bio on either TikTok, Instagram, you can see that there is a free webinar. You can watch that free webinar. And at the end of it, you'll actually get, it's ridiculous, I know, but you'll get $700 off of that new masterclass. And you get group coaching with that too, for too cheap. So I have that going right now just as a promo.
I'm gonna
Wow.
put the link in the chat for you guys as well.
Oh, I see my husband's on here too. I know you asked earlier, was he on here? Hey, Oak Cliff in the house. Okay. Hey, Brianna. I saw Oak Cliff. I was like, cool.
Let me see if I can see.
Tex says I get a lot of Spanish calls.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
California. Guys, you can just raise your hand or just unmute yourself if you have any questions for Norma.
Yeah, raise your hands, you guys, because we have a lot of people like on Instagram, YouTube. I'm trying to cipher through all of the
Let me help
comments
you. I'll go
and
to Instagram.
hella emojis out here that you guys are putting up.
Thank y'all for the love. My phone is actually dead, so I
Awesome.
can't see him.
Ah!
Norma, plug in your offer, please.
Coupon code 20.
And I'm gonna also put it in the YouTube for you guys to check her out.
It's on all digital products, right?
Yes.
All right, yeah, you guys on YouTube, go ahead and put in your questions, type in your questions, and then we'll get to you. Everybody's typing in right now. So shout out to everyone. And
I'm still laughing that Toledo didn't want to cuss. Because I was talking about Jesus. He's so funny.
So let me ask you, in the meantime, Norma.
Yes.
What does your 5-year plan look like?
5-year plan?
Mm-hmm.
To like numbers wise, or
No, just like goals, right? Like, hey, within 5 years, I see myself having this, accomplished by then. Like the real estate, I have 6 properties. I have maybe a rec center for kids.
Yeah. So it's still the same vision of that I would like to provide within 5 years, provide housing and programs for moms with children whose father have been deceased, detained, or deported. So within this program, while they're going through, they have their free rent, they will be able to learn how to start a business. We will help and work through really how to monetize their skills, depending on kind of what their background is. If they don't have any, teaching them those skills. It's a little bit similar.
Good question, Notary Wave. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yes. So just providing the housing and also investing in real estate myself with my husband. And because my husband is a real estate attorney and we run the law firm, that kind of goes with my dream, of course, too, is eventually maybe even have a title company, and I can, we would have be able to process everything from finding the deal, the contract, going under contract, and then also would like to step into the commercial real estate space where I'm doing more commercial real estate.
So we got a question from Instagram from Notary Wave. She says, what was the final tipping point that encouraged you to go full time?
Oh, so it was actually not by choice. I don't talk about it a lot because I do get a little bit pissed off about it. There goes the inner gangster, right? But basically, I was working at a title company night and day. I would get there sometimes 6 a.m, leave at 9 p.m. Very hard worker, and I was just let go with no reason and no explanation till this day. And it was just crazy because I didn't really notice kind of the envy, but I was kind of told that some people, had a little bit of envy of how quickly I was moving up. And I don't know if they maybe saw it as a threat that I became a real estate agent, but I actually didn't have a choice. So it was almost like I was pushed into into that position. And I said, you know what? This is my sign. Like, I'm leaving a lot sooner than I wanted to, because my goal was to learn, as much as I could about the notary industry. I'm sorry, about the escrow side of things. And but I said, this is my sign. And it was on a Friday. By Monday, I was at lunch with the lender, and my cousin called me and said, hey, I've been pre-approved. I want to find a house. So he was my first client. So I got my first 2 deals under contract within less than 60 days. So that was cool. Look it out. So yeah. And I qualified for unemployment, which I didn't really think I guess I didn't think about it too much, but that kind of helped a little bit too, to have that. But I was confident, and I'm so glad that I never abandoned my baby, my business, even though I was working a 9-to-5 job, because I knew that was something that I could control. I could always fall back on that. And, I didn't want to ever get too comfortable with working that 9-to-5 job. I stayed focused on my goal. And I still kept growing my business, improving it. Any free time I had, I met my husband, and he actually did my LLC for me, and helped me with my website. And so it was really great that I had everything set up. So when I left, I was good to go.
Power couple.
Thank you.
So we have another question. Shout out to my Bronx sister out there, She Boss. Shout out to She Boss.
Oh my gosh, I love her.
She says, how can she sign up to volunteer?
Oh, I have an application. It's actually in my Facebook group. So if you join the Notary Network group on Facebook, the Notary Network group, it's in there. And I also have so my goal is to create I know this is a little different, but I have this idea of more of a dispatch type service. So I do have an application for that, where I would refer you out, and maybe TOLEDO, you can help me with that. But basically, a little bit different than a signing service. And because a lot of my clients, they really enjoy working with me and the way that I work. I don't want my notaries to just be another number where, hey, fill out an application, send me your credentials. Like, no, I want to actually interview with them face to face. They're fully vetted, right? They're not just anyone going in, and have more of a dispatch service where I'm encouraging your business to grow, and you are your own, brand. And so I'm working on that right now.
I love it. Any other questions?
There was a spider on the wall, so y'all excuse me because I kept looking up to see. We're in Texas, y'all.
So yeah, Norma, I got your back. Don't even sweat it. I got your back on that. So we have another question on YouTube. What tips can you give bilingual notaries?
Ooh, brush up on your legal terminology. Definitely come to me, take one of my classes. If you're not sure which one to take, make sure you can send me an email and we'll set up a call. But there are so many different services you can provide. And I would definitely say to because a lot of people grow up speaking more, it's not really professional Spanish, and depending on your background, right? Like different cultures have different accents and use different words, right? So like I'm Salvadorian, and one word for me has a totally different meaning for, someone from Mexico. So I think definitely to learn more of the professional legal terms. And I actually created a kind of a cheat sheet for my Spanish speaking notaries. So definitely want to get with me on that and brush up on those skills, because you don't want to offend anyone. I've unfortunately had to learn the hard way. And there's certain words in Spanish that is like, you shouldn't use that word, but definitely learn how to speak properly in Spanish, where it's kind of more universal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would be my greatest advice. And going to, what was the other? Duolingo is a really great app, even though I know it's for people that are wanting to learn Spanish, but you can select, that's the way I brush up on my skills, is I listen to, I practice through Duolingo, and then I also recommend Spanish podcasts. So what I do is I like to listen to entrepreneur podcasts in Spanish.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
That really helped to kind of hear the terminology, that they use. And maybe I'll be on one of their podcasts too.
Yeah, you guys. So don't use the word puñeta and pendejo and shit. It won't help you close the deal. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right. Oh, you didn't know I brushed up on my Spanish too, but it's all in the bad side.
Yeah, don't use that word.
Yeah. Don't use that when you're trying to close a power of attorney deal, you guys.
Oh my!
I do have a quick funny story about that. When I was younger, we had gone to El Salvador, and we have a fruit. It's a green fruit. They have it in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. Any Caribbean country really has them, and we call them, mamones. And that's the word. In some other countries, they call them mamoncillos. But if there's anyone that's Mexican and listening to this, they're like, oh my gosh, like that's a curse word for them. But we actually got in trouble because we were telling our friends at church. And so you can just imagine, I mean, it was everyone just was like the girls are so bad. They're saying these bad words. And we were just crying. I mean, we were in tears because we didn't understand, what is the big deal? We were telling them about, there's hundreds of them in El Salvador. I still don't really know what it means, but I just know we got to know that it was okay.
Oh my God.
I can see myself now saying, thank you for calling U.S. Notary Agency, Bedejo. My name is Mark. How can I help you today?
We'll see.
He's like, what the fuck did he just say?
Like that are understood no matter what country,
Yeah, right.
One that speaks Spanish. So that's what I mean is certain words just not to say. Right. But there's other ones that I didn't know that we use in kind of everyday language that I didn't know was actually offensive or anything. But I really learned to minimize too much chit chat at closings in Spanish for that reason. That's actually a tip I give is try to avoid too much, talking about personal life and things because it gets very awkward. So. I can ask your question.
So Norma, hit him with the offer one more time, and then we're gonna wrap up. I hope you see this chat. I wish you could see what's going on Instagram and YouTube. They send me mad love and all that.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. It means a lot. Yes, so use coupon code TOLEDO20 for 20% off of any digital product. Make sure you click the link in my bio. There's a free webinar for you right now. I also do throw in 2 other bonuses, which is an ebook. That's going to be your roadmap to all those frequently asked questions that you have. You can print it out. It's in PDF format. And you can sign up for that. At the end of that webinar, there will be $700 off. The catch is you have to stay through the end of that webinar. So it's just 30 minutes, but I know that it will bless your life and I worked very hard on it. So thank y'all so much again for having me. And please, if anytime you have questions, you can send me a DM on Instagram. I do have a chat bot I'm so proud of that has helped me to manage my messages. So please send me a message with any question that you have on Instagram.
Wonderful. Hey, Dawn, you have anything that you'd like to leave with the family?
Yes, absolutely. I am doing a 3-day Apostille training class. It's going to be lit. The whole thing is basically through AI, and that starts April 14th. I have early bird registration going on right now, and that is good until April 1st. So those spots are limited. So the link is in my Instagram bio. Do not miss it. Don't miss it.
Thank you so much, ladies, for being on here. It was a pleasure. It was fantastic. This war room thing just gets better and better. And I just want to let everybody know that it's a blessing because I know you guys could be doing a lot of things on a Monday, but yet you decided to come on the Notary War Room Live to meet Dawn and Norma, and it was fantastic. I am humbled. I am thankful. I'm thankful that you gave us your precious time, because you, like Norma said, you can always make money. It's your time that's the most precious thing out there. So I want to thank you guys. I want to wish you peace, love, happiness.